as interpreted by Joe Wenderoth, the new criticism of Artaud. You know,
Take this.
Yeah, I'd like to figure out what Joe's theater, with the whole theater of cruelty, because that. And by the way, Artaud is, in case you haven't, I think Joe does give the reference, but when you see the opening credits, and we'll put it in this week, with the guy, with him throwing the ball up in the air. First, he has this quote from Artaud that says, "We are not free, and the sky can still fall on our heads, and the theater has been created to teach us, first of all, that." And then it says, "Educated bowlers." So that's from Artaud, people, and I think even Joey Burbs, if he doesn't get a job somewhere else, I think he's teaching a little class on Artaud next semester. So if you want to, you know, sit in on it and ask Joe about how does this relate to Freddy Krueger, how does Freddy Krueger represent the theater of cruelty, Joe will appreciate questions like that, because Joe is not about fucking art flicks and documentaries. He likes the popular shit that the masses like. Joe went to see Santa Claus 2 this past weekend. He did. And he almost got killed in that fucking tornado that took out some people. They went to go see Santa Claus 2. It's like... oh, man. It's like, God, what a way to go, man. Fuck, why couldn't I do it? Why didn't I go see Santa Claus 2? It was a weird, there's always some weird detail in the news. It's like, who gives a fuck what movie they were seeing? Is that relevant here? You know?
Yeah, how shitty their lives were when they died.
Is it somehow suggestive?
How insignificant. How insignificant their deaths were.
Yeah,
they were watching Santa Claus 2.
But they never take that leap. It's just reported as the temperature was 70 and they were watching Santa Claus 2 and they were drinking Diet Coke. There's never any relevance to what the hell it matters. It's like Dennis Miller says, when you're on the plane going down, you should say, "Fuck it, give me a Coke," you know. I don't want the Diet Coke anymore. But it's like, you know, the only thing I can think that would possibly be relevant to these news fucks is that, like, there were families going to see Santa Claus 2. And again, they don't make that specific connection, but that's the only relevance. It's like, oh, okay, kids going to see Santa Claus 2.
Probably were single parents who've had abortions.
Exactly.
Who want to see Santa.
Coming holiday season, we got Thanksgiving coming up, we got Christmas, you know, you like that family orientation stuff?
Yeah,
you like just having a lot to drink? What?
Well, I've been banned from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I heard about that story. Oh yeah, my wife
okay.
loves that story,
It's
baby.
Great. It's a classic.
Yeah, that's one of the better ones.
I was with Mom. I'll just recap for the audience. I was with Mom and Aunt Betty and my brother and his girlfriend, and I don't know. It was one of those days, you know. I was kind of a little fucked up, and too much to drink, and knocked something over. I can't remember what it was, and then I went to get some gravy out of the bowl, the big jar, whatever, pot. And I put the gravy back in the pot, the ladle, but somehow the ladle just kind of jumped out, and then I yelled out, "Motherfucker!" And
right in front of Aunt Betty and all
that's
the whole,
everybody else,
the whole gang.
Yeah, everybody else in the room knew I was, you know, pretty heavy cusser.
Yeah.
They know I'm a bowler. And bowlers cuss. That's the way it is, folks. But Aunt Betty did not know, and I think after that she kind of thought a little bit less of me, and so this year I'm not.
Did it ruin her meal? Did she finish her plate?
She did finish her plate. You know, she's.
Did she ask for seconds?
I don't think she asked for seconds.
Well, there was no, but I remember all the gravy fell on the floor, so there was like no more gravy left.
No, it was just a ladle fell on the floor,
okay.
So it was like, yeah, no.
So there was still gravy.
Yeah, so it was like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
The handle
well, see, I thought I remember there was like no more gravy, so that would piss me off.
That would be worse.
Because then it'd be like a lot of mashed potatoes and stuffing, but no gravy, right?
I'd be thinking more of, oh shit, there's a gallon of gravy on the carpet. But and what is my brother? You know, what way is my brother gonna kill me? What Soprano-esque style is he gonna take me out in? But no. Yeah, so was I kind of overreacted, but either way, okay, so I'm not invited to Thanksgiving.
So you're going to lay low over Thanksgiving?
Nah, you know, I think we'll get together.
You hanging out here in Marshall or what?
Hanging in Marshall.
But you're not going back home to St. Louis?
No, you know, because I kind of calculated the whole thing, and I think there's
It's not
only
worth it,
2 weeks before,
Yeah.
once you get back, you came back,
Right.
2 weeks to the end of the semester, and it would take 48 hours to total round trip, 24 hours round trip, so a whole day there just to go home and eat some fucking turkey and say, motherfucker, you know, it's just not worth it, you know, I mean, I want to respect Aunt Betty on this and let her recover from that. Maybe next year, but Christmas,
So you're like going to the Bahamas for Christmas or what?
yeah, but just for a week, actually sort of before Christmas, because I'm going to kind of try to avoid the, I know a lot of tourists are going to be taking airplane rides during
Right.
Christmas. They're going to try to...
And the Bahamas, I've heard, the Bahamas are like one of the targeted areas, aren't they?
So, right, exactly. It's like...
And then all the routes from Marshall to the Bahamas are also targeted?
Right. And there's like at least 5 routes from Marshall to the Bahamas, you know, I mean, it's like the pipeline. It's how Marshall gets all its drugs and all that shit, you know. Anyway, I'll go there for a while, but I'll be back in St. Louis by Christmas, and I don't know, maybe there'll be a Christmas dinner, maybe even Aunt Betty will be there, and I can
And gravy?
maybe some gravy.
The same kind of gravy?
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
if somebody else makes the gravy, then
So what was this, like, you kind of like your basic turkey kind of drippings gravy?
Yeah, I just recall it being kind of like vomit colored, yellow kind of thing. But
Right.
it was good. It was good. It didn't taste like vomit.
On Christmas, you guys usually have a turkey, or do you go for like ham or
I think
goose
it's
or
like,
what?
yeah, it's either, turkey, the sequel, this time it's personal, or it's ham is very, if you're
Right.
fucking sick of turkey, then you gotta go ham, and ham's a
Right.
typical thing. Of course, we, might just say fucking go to Hardee's, you never know with
Are
our
you going to be here for
families.
Thanksgiving?
Yes, so are we gonna have a
Yeah, I'll
partay?
throw a party.
Partay. Hey, in fact, can we invite the audience? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, so Lupe was going to have the Thanksgiving party at his house.
Right.
So what's gonna be there? Like strippers and shit at the Thanksgiving party?
And
My
each,
wife.
each stripper,
So, if you want to come to our party, email us at chufflavors.
No. Educated bowlers.
Oops, sorry. Educated Bowlers, one word,
Yep. At
at
yahoo.com.
yahoo.com. So you
Yep.
want to come to Thanksgiving with the Educated Bowlers, email us.
There
and
might be a
we'll-
little bit of a screening process.
Yeah.
well, we'll give you a list of things to bring. And if you can bring those things, then you are invited. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that'll work.
Because we will be bringing our things, and it's
they're
only
big
right.
things.
Yeah, and it's only right that you bring your things.
Hey, I got a thing for the audience to write. Remember, again, I know I'll make sure I post this and everything. That email, educatedbowlers@yahoo.com. We've only got one email this year from Chad and Brandon. In fact, Chad and Brandon, if you guys want to email us again, we know you're motivated. Send us an email. We want to respond to the viewers. We want to see what kind of impact we're making. But here's my little thing to respond to. Joey Suburbs, Joe Wenderoth, man of controversy. We've heard rumors that some of our audience thinks that there's too much Joe in Educated Bowlers and that he dominates the show and that he makes us his bitches and what else do they say?
Yeah, I think his
that.
bitches, I think that's more than enough.
And some say there's some kind of weird homoerotic thing between Joe and Tim Bicey, but I know Bicey is he's straight as a fucking board. So if Joe's thinking of going that way, he hasn't got a chance with the Bicey man. Bicey's got a goatee now, by the way, folks. And I wish he was here tonight.
Well, I think if he spanks them,
Spanks
that's
him.
his in on
That might
Bicey.
convert Bicey. Bicey likes it kind of like if you take him, he'll be open to suggestion.
He likes violence.
So,
Bicey's
Lupe,
small,
how-
but he's violent.
So Lupe, how will that change your Christmas party as far as knowing Joe and Tim might kind of like one another or not? Are you going to do anything different about your
Oh,
preparations?
you mean Thanksgiving? No.
Well, no, I'm actually looking forward to Christmas now as we invite people
Why not
over
New
for the
Year's?
holidays.
Oh, I won't be here because I to do the family thing. I need to get away from this homoerotic tension and get back to some really working class anti-homophobe or homophobe would be contradiction. Anti-homoerotic attention. I get back to where my dad used to spank me.
Oh, okay.
For Christmas, as my Christmas present, I used to get spanked.
We're gonna get back to some Oedipal tension.
Right. I'll go home and I'll say, Dad, are you ready to die? You love me, Mom?
So what are you going to put in your dad's stocking for Christmas when you're back there?
Cyanide.
As in pill form or like rubbed over an orange or what?
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I haven't done it. Rubbed over an orange. I haven't thought about that.
Dilly's, yeah. Taking out a few people in his time.
Science pays. Knowledge of science pays off once in a while.
But, you know, there's also, you know, you kind of think some people might throw the orange away, so you might want to make it a cyanide chocolate bunny or cyanide chocolate Santa.
The cyanide pack chocolate bunny's a sure winner.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, you know, that's the funny thing about Christmas, at the Boehm household, we've got like 3 households now, I guess, but, we don't really celebrate Christmas. We might, if somebody forces us to, we might go to church, and I don't know who would have, I guess George Bush might make that a law or something, so we'd go along with that, just for...
Well, you know, at the Lord's Prayer,
Yeah.
George Bush
That's
is the
right.
answer.
Norm Coleman said that, he says, the phrase, God bless America, is a prayer, and George Bush is the answer to that prayer. But if that's the answer, then I think God's really pissed off at us. And when we say God bless America, God's going, me? You talking about me? Okay, here's fucking George Bush. Eat this, motherfuckers, you know. So, anyway.
So let me go back to that for a moment. We know Norm Coleman is a scumbag. I mean, just imagine if people could know Norm Coleman and the shit that comes out of his mouth. When he says that about, you know, God and the country, and he's talking about George Bush, who's another scumbag.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, and actually, educated bowlers do not hold this opinion. Not
Yes,
all.
we do.
Not all of them. I think Bicey's moderate. He's a moderate.
Vicey has said on this show, and I quote, "I want to tear the hide off the president."
But I think he meant that metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
We meant it moderately.
Note to Secret Service. That was metaphorical.
We do have to send weekly memos to the Secret Service. We're just kidding.
This is satire.
All my emails have that opening. You know, it's like when you sign your name, Tim Bain, Southwest State Professor. I'm just kidding, Secret Service. There's a little tagline at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if George Bush was going to send you a present, Tim, what do you think he would send you? You know, under $20.
Probably cyanide oranges.
Send,
there I'd luck out, because I don't fucking eat oranges. I'd be like,
he would send Tim, a 12-year-old girl,
yeah.
to make friends with him. George Bush is a scumbag.
And then he'd send the Secret Service to photograph me with her, and I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
So that would be the downfall of Boehm. Okay, Lupe, what would George Bush send you?
Tim Bame's photos of the 12-year-old girl. Then I'd be fucked because I'd have my penis in my hand and whack it off.
They'd get photos of Lupe, and then they'd send those photos to Joe, and Joe'd be like, "All right, this is hard here, man."
And Joe writes a best-selling novel.
So Tom, what is George Bush sending you?
He's going to send me a crucifix of Jesus Christ, and I'm going to put it up there right with my granite rock.
Yeah, maybe he'll send you a crucifix. Actually,
I was born on Christmas Day, so I take it pretty seriously.
He'll send Dilly a crucifix with Nellie Bell on the bottom. He'll try to buy Dilly's vote, you know. Did you see that HBO special?
What?
About George Bush? It's that woman that's on. She's a.
Like how he ran his campaign?
Yeah.
No, I've heard about
Talk
it.
about propaganda. I mean, it's bullshit.
Oh, I thought it was about that HBO special about making of the Nellie Bell.
No,
That's the one that you need to watch.
no, it's actually they're HBO so-called cutting edge. Just so-called cutting edge. I watched a little bit of that, and I was like, this is bullshit. HBO is sucking.
Yeah, I
George
really didn't get the
Bush's
impression that they
ass.
were really taking a hard look
He's
at
a
it.
real human being, but all his policies, regardless of how they affect the majority of Americans, that's okay.
Was there any kind of like them questioning him about?
No, it was like George Bush being silly, wacky.
Yeah.
He's wacky.
He's goofy.
He's a
crazy,
He's a normal
coked
guy.
up cheerleader.
Yeah, I mean it's just bullshit. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand them trying to show the other side, but at the same time, it's like